morning, everybody. This is Patrick Boren. Today's date is March 30th, 2023. There have been a few new articles out about the Pac-12 media rights, and I wanted to cover the one from Dennis Dodd at CBS. This is good information to look at, specifically here out on CBSSports.com. I'll just go over kind of roughly and quickly. He starts saying nothing to suggest the new Pac-12 media rights deal is near, with 15 months left on current contract. The Pac-12 got caught off guard and is now stuck in limbo, by Dennis Dodd 1 hour ago. Robbins is the one who recently made waves, setting a soft April 15th deadline for the Pac-12 to at least present a financial estimate that the 10 remaining schools could contemplate, then accept or reject. The best way to sum up the Pac-12 deal-making status at the moment: not close, but hopeful. In October, the Pac-12 went to the open market after an exclusive negotiating window with ESPN and Fox expired. Multiple sources continued to tell CBS Sports that Fox remains out of the bidding. ESPN is still believed to be interested, along with at least one streaming provider. Other than that, what are the Pac-12's linear broadcast cable options? It has been suggested that NBC could be a possibility, but it would likely feature games only on its non-broadcast properties, USA Network Cable and or Peacock streaming. Robbins reiterated to CBS Sports that the majority of the Pac-12 games will be on linear partner, a significant claim. This whole streaming thing, that's overplayed, Robbins said. I think this deal is going to have a heavy traditional analog cable piece. I think there may be some streaming in it, but I don't think anybody would want to go majority streaming. Since the calendar has turned to 2023, there has been near constant word in the industry that a new deal was just 2 weeks away. Yet the wait continues, and the Pac-12 CEOs will not meet again until mid-April. The Pac-12 is now within 15 months of its current deal expiring July 1st, 2024. While that seems like a long way out, it's not. Futures are generally secured roughly 18 months out. Robbins says, I don't feel the angst of everyone else in the world. Maybe it's because I'm too dumb to realize, Robbins added. We've got a deal for another 15 months. We're the only ones out there. It's not like we're competing with anybody else. Nobody out there is wanting to do a deal. We'll wait and see what happens. It's kind of hilarious what Robbins is saying here. He says, we've got a deal for another 15 months. And the article's going to continue on here in a little bit, talking about why 15 months isn't really a long time, especially if you're trying to expand. He says, we're the only ones out there. That's the problem, Mr. Robbins, is that you are the only ones out there. And right now, all the other slots in the TV media world have been consumed, thanks to the Big Ten, the SEC, and the Big 12, and the ACC. So thinking that you're the only ones out there and like you're not competing with anybody else, that's wild. That blows me away that he would say something like that. Nobody out there wanting to do a deal. We'll wait and see what happens. Well, that's apparently the take they're taking. They're waiting to see what's going to happen. It's unbelievable at this point as far as their mindset. Blows me away. Industry sources continue to back up what Robbins is indicating. The Pac-12 doesn't seem to be close to a deal. Potentially complicating matters less than 15 months out is expansion, which could delay the process further. Schools would have to extricate themselves from their previous leagues financially and perhaps legally. New schedules would have to be drawn up. It's not as simple as changing logos on a uniform and field. So what he's talking about here is that in order to expand, so let's say the PAC wants to add SMU and San Diego State. Those schools need time. They need time to prepare for the changes to get out of their conference and get into the PAC. So this timeliness is pretty serious and pretty important. Athletic budgets are calculated years in advance, and right now Pac-12 schools are stuck in neutral. WWE CEO Nick Khan made headlines this week when he said the Pac-12 got caught off guard during an appearance on the Marchand and Oron Sports Media podcast. I think they're in a tough spot, Khan said of the Pac-12. later suggesting the league sign a short-term deal to maximize the value of the conference over a longer period. But what is a short-term deal? 3 years? It would be advantageous, as schools could perhaps sign the deal without a grant of rights, allowing them to remain nimble enough to join other conferences if all does not work out in the Pac-12. The problem is that the Pac-12 would basically be in talks for a new contract almost from the time the short-term deal started. Plus, any media partner would almost certainly want cost certainty over a longer term. Means it's going to be less money if you're asking for a shorter term contract. I'd go short term deal and make sure you're not just taking the biggest money, Khan said. You've got to make sure you keep attention on schools. If there's a streamer that doesn't have a big audience yet you go exclusive with them, you've got to be a little careful with that. That is part of the significance of the Pac-12's wait. It could go on much longer. The Pac-12 got caught off guard, which is the worst thing that can happen in business, Khan added. So as we can see, as the Pac world turns, the reality is I don't think we're going to know really much until mid-April, if then. So until then, if anything leaks or if anything is actual valid leaks, I'll bring it up, but we'll see. All right, so have a good one. Press the like button, subscribe. Appreciate you guys.
Big 12 open for business.
There is no doubt the Big 12 is open for business. We will leave no stone unturned to drive value for the conference.